Pokemon Legends Arceus was an absolute success and is a fan favorite Pokemon game. Interesting characters, regional forms, and new evolutions worked really well in Hisui. That then inspired many fans to tackle more ideas of Pokemon Legend games, from the most popular being Pokemon Legends Unova, and of course, Legends Celebi or Johto. Now in the past, I've covered the Suishao region for Pokemon Legends Celebi, and that team did amazing to capture the characters, the regional forms, and more. And once again today we'll be diving into another version of that, showing off new starter Pokemon, regional forms, and evolutions for a new Pokemon Legends Celebi. This was created by the very talented artist Santather, which you can find over on Instagram and DeviantArt with the links in the description down below. I'm pretty sure they're still actively working on this, but I wanted to show off some new Pokemon today. So that all being said, let's go ahead and dive into it. Now just like Legends Arceus, I'd imagine you enter the world of Johto with the help of a legendary Pokemon. Of course appearing before a new professor and a weirdly familiar region. Alongside the professor, he'll be joined with some new starter choices of Snivy, Fenniken, and Squirtle. These are some interesting choices for sure, and of course when they evolve they do remain the same in their second stage, but does change for the final evolution. Starting off with Superior, it takes a slightly different design, but I very much like it. Becoming a very vibrant grass and dragon type Pokemon as it was meant to be, with long whiskers and draconic attributes, it just looks great, and it even keeps its feet. Then next up is Delphox, which retains the witch design within a new way. Alongside becoming a fire and fairy type, the design is inspired by the sacred locations of Johto and uses its wand to repel evil forces. Though I will add, I wish that fire and fairy was Delphox's debut typing. Then last but not least is Blastoise, and his new design looks familiar. Now for those who don't know, this design is inspired by the beta Blastoise and Wartortle. And it only gets better as here in Johto it gains the psychic typing, and is said to be one of the wisest Pokemon that a trainer can ever have. So with having all three options available, which one do you choose? I'm definitely leaning more towards Superior because I actually like the Pokemon, and it becoming a grass and dragon type is amazing. Now in Legends Arceus we got the likes of Hisuian Arcanine, Ursaluna, and even Overqwil, which were all exciting to bring back old Pokemon and revamp them in brand new ways with new evolutions. So of course in Legends Celebi we'll be starting off with Goldeen, which takes on a new design which I think looks great. Because let's be honest, who usually cares about Goldeen? Now it's stated that this Pokemon is aggressive against its own species of the same gender, which is actually needed for its evolution, Vendetta. Now Vendetta, just like Goldeen, are both water and fighting type Pokemon, and they're known to be very territorial and is strong enough to create tsunamis when battling. Then there's Shuckle, a possible fan favorite. Either way, this Pokemon gets a brand new evolution with Brookle. Shuckle evolves into Brookle by producing a special berry juice. Because if you didn't know, Shuckle can make its own juice. Do I know if it's good? I don't know, but it makes its own. But this evolution really makes you wonder how overpowered an Eviolite Shuckle would be. Next is the icon Farfetch'd. As we know, this Pokemon plays a small part in our Johto adventure within the Ilex Forest when you have to chase it down. And of course here it now gets an evolution with Crystal Clear. It gets this new evolution by using the new item known as a Spring Flower. And I feel this fits perfectly because we do have Farfetch'd over in Galar, so why not have the opposite of an evolution here within Johto? Now Legends Celebi will also give Johto bug Pokemon some recognition with Ladian and Ariados. Starting off with Ariados, it gets a new evolution with Widogre, which becomes a new menacing Pokemon with its design and gains the dark typing, while keeping the ability to poison its opponents. So it's like almost having 3 typings. But this Pokemon is the key for Ladian, which will have a brand new evolution and is much needed. Ladian now evolves into Storeon when it defeats a Widogre, becoming a hero Pokemon, which does fit well because Widogre is going to be the villain out of the two. And if I'm being honest, this has to be hands down one of my favorite designs in this whole video, so this is great to see. Next we have Mightyena, which is actually another early route Pokemon, much like Zigzagoon. This Pokemon now gets an evolution when it levels up while fainted, so give it a rare candy. Meet Pachyena, which alongside being a dark type, it also gains the ghost type as well, which makes sense for the evolution. Plus, it's always awesome to see some brand new ghost Pokemon, and this one's really cool. Since Unova seems to be included to possibly get the Legends treatment, we also get a brand new evolution for some Unova Pokemon, as we have the new evolution for Carablast, which is a bug type Pokemon that I always thought was cool. And with the new evolution, we get Karaslash. And this Pokemon is amazing looking. Now just like a Cellgore, it keeps the pure bug typing, but it has a more Japanese influence and looks like a true warrior. And oh, plus its shiny is really nice. Then there is also Archeops, which gets a brand new regional form, now getting the dark typing and being known as the Thief Bird Pokemon. It's noted that this Archeops cannot actually fly, and they actually use their appearance to scare different Pokemon and take all their berries like a thief. Then lastly from Unova is alternate forms or Pokemon to Larvesta and Volcarona, which are Pokemon that are known to be inspired by the sun. Well, here in Johto we have Larfarena and Geyserona, which are inspired by the moon and swap its fire for a water typing. Though it is noted that this Pokemon is not actually related to Volcarona, but does absorb the energy from sunlight just like that Pokemon would. But I'd imagine it would also absorb energy from the moon, because that would make sense. Then coming from Kalos is Bunnelby, which gets the brand new typing of ice and grass. It tends to be a fan favorite for kids to make into a snowman during the winter time. But here in Johto it does evolve into Slidersby, the sliding Pokemon. It loves to give children all kind of rides down the snowy mountains, and I can imagine it as a key ride Pokemon in the snowy areas, something similar to the Alabaster Icelands or the snow-topped mountains of Johto. Hey, even the Kalos fossil Tyrantrum makes an appearance in this region. Now being a rock and electric type, this form of Tyrantrum uses its electric crest to hunt for Pokemon underwater. And it's actually said to be taller and thinner than the Kalos one, but it makes us all wonder which one would actually win in a battle. Now Johto is inspired by Japan of course, and with that comes all kind of culture and inspiration for the real world. So here in Legends Celebi, we do have a regional stone joiner, which is inspired by the large gates of Tori. Now Tori is typically found at the Shinto shrines, and here you can find stone joiner around temples and villages. And of course, despite it being a stone joiner, it's actually a Pokemon that is a grass and fairy type. Then to round out the list for this video, we have a regional form for a familiar bird Pokemon from Paldea. Now of course, Bombardier is an interesting Pokemon, and here in Johto it now becomes a flying and fighting type, better known as the Black Belt Pokemon. As it practices its very simple but effective fighting style, it becomes an absolute beast, not to mention it makes its black belt from its defeated opponents. So what do you guys think? These are all the new Pokemon that you can see in a hypothetical Legends Johto game. Now if I had to say I had some favorites, it'd be between Superior and Starion because those designs are incredible, but let me know your favorites in the comments down below. And don't forget to like up this video and check out Santather over on Instagram and DeviantArt to check out all the new artwork coming. Oh, and subscribe if you haven't already because that would be awesome. With that being said, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye!